Hi everyone. So if you're watching the markets yesterday, the markets did really well, and if you own these two stocks, you did really well. If you own Tesla, Tesla just made an all-time high of $524.86, and if you're in Beyond Meats, well, you got a 19% return yesterday, which is phenomenal. Not to mention, if you had held earlier, the return's even better than that because Beyond Meats early on, a couple of weeks ago, trading around 70 something dollars, and then now it's at 114. So if you do the math, that's a really good return. So when you look at situations like this, you've got Tesla, which was probably about 6 months ago at around $200, and Beyond Meats, which was probably at about 70, just the low 70s. So if you're holding these two stocks and you manage to buy at a very low price, well, here's a good kind of strategy that you want to kind of think about, because unless you're a long-term holder and you're willing to hold for a good lengthy amount of time, because given the rise of these stocks so far, it could just well drop. So you want to consider what's the best way to manage your risks, because at the end of the day, like, stock markets are more about managing risks. You do well when you manage risks because you could do really well when things are going up, but what happens when things are going down? So if you have a good risk strategy, then it puts you in a much better place to perform well going forward. Because if you can, like, not lose money, right? And no one ever taking a profit ever lost money. So that's kind of how do we put that into practice? Well, say like this is your block of stock. The usually the good strategy is when you're happy with a good sum of a good return, then you reduce a third of it. So like when if you reduce a third, then even if the stock keeps going up, you're still holding the majority of your stock. But if it goes down, you've got a third to just buy back more. So like if Beyond Meats went from 114, and then it dropped to say like 105 after that, then you've got a third of your money to buy it back at a lower price, which is more advisable because at the end of the day, you've taken your profits, and it puts you in a much better situation to handle it when the prices go down. But of course, if Beyond Meat goes from 114 and it goes to like 130, you still got two-thirds of your stock which you can sell. In the case that did this happen, like say your aim was another, 15% or whatnot, and it does go to like 130, 135, you might consider selling another third. So by that time, you still hold one third. And you also have to consider by that time, if you're holding stock at that high of a price, you could either consider that you want to get out all your stock, or if you feel like these days FOMO, if you have the fear of missing out, then you still have a third, so you don't feel too bad. So in investing, if you do get the chance of earning super high profits, like compared to what your average market gain is, then you kind of have to have a risk strategy that helps you kind of manage how you buy into stocks and how you take profits. It's the same thing. If a stock is really expensive, say like Tesla's trading at $600, you don't know if you want to get in or not. You could buy a third today, and then if it came back down to like 500, you buy another third, and if it came down to 400, you buy the other third. And then that's probably a better risk allocation strategy rather than trying to, like buy it all at once or time it really right and spend all your money on a certain price. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. And we're not going to try risk the times that it doesn't work out. So if it doesn't work out, we're still not too bad because we've still got money to buy down when it's lower. Your ability to do well is your ability to average down when the price is dropping. So as long as you hold some cash, I know it's very tempting to not hold cash. No one wants to hold the cash Everyone wants to invest it all and hope that that was the best decision, that was the best price, and from there things just go up and up, and you earn really good profits. The problem is reality is not like that, and you'll find very fast in the stock market, if you don't look after yourself, you're very quickly punished. So when you consider these two scenarios, if you are, like these two stocks are well highlighted, a lot of people know these stocks, a lot of people hold these stocks. So that's why I'm using these two as examples, because, like when you consider this, it's a good risk allocation, to either buy your way in thirds or sell your way with a third each time. Unless you're happy with the gain, or you're happy with the price, then you could just go all in. But of course, you got to use your judgment at that time. Even if something's cheap, it can always be cheaper. So even if you say, I don't want to buy just 1/3, maybe you can buy 2/3. And if you feel like the price is really high, but you still have that fear of missing out, then maybe sell 2/3 and still keep 1/3. And that kind of just keeps your emotions in check, rather than the problem with investing is you're going to make decisions really quickly, or the price changes. And that's the reality. Like if you don't make the right decision, price drops or price rises, and then you could end up missing out in a certain way. So you want to consider how you manage your profits, or in some cases your losses. Like if you're losing money and you're going, oh okay, I think it's going to recover. But the thing is, as I say before, things that are cheap can always become cheaper. So if you don't like the pain of losing, but you feel like things might get worse, then sell a third, right? Because at the end of the day, you still have something to get back in, and if it goes even further down, you can buy another third. So like you want to take the rule of the thirds, right? Because it just helps you manage your risk. It helps you manage your emotions, and that kind of strategy, you just you don't want to decide on a circumstantial basis. You want to be able to decide like on the snap of your fingers, right? Because if you can't decide, things change too quick, and also your decision making becomes really inconsistent. The problem that gets everyone is inconsistent decision making. I can tell you that's happened to me before. I've either made a lot of profits and I didn't do it in thirds. I either just sold it all at once and then it continued to go up, or I only sold it, I didn't manage, or I did sell a third or something like that, and things end up too badly. So it's a matter of just managing your situation. Can you buy a stock and know what to do when the price goes up 30% or 50% or 100%? And knowing this, it kind of keeps me in check. Doesn't keep me with that greedy mentality where I'm like, oh, it can keep going up, it can keep going up. Well, problem is, if it doesn't keep going up, then we got problems, we got issues. So don't do something silly. Don't get too greedy. Always keep yourself in check. Always keep a nice systematic way for you to manage your risk, right? And if you guys do hold these two, or you hold a different stock that's also done really well, because it's not just these two. Like stock market yesterday was fantastic. Like I couldn't find a better day for this year that the stock market performed this well. Of course, we've got the China trade deal that's about to be signed, but that's also comes with a bit of a caveat, right? Like if this trade deal isn't that great, or after the trade deal the hype's over, then what happens? Stock might fall back down. So that's the problem. If the trade deal's not good, down. If the hype's over, down. So when you consider the risk, there's two things that's not gonna be working for you. Of course, you have the chance that the trade deal is amazing, but given how small it is, it probably isn't going to be that fantastic. It's more of just like a truth kind of thing. Like some concessions have been given on both sides, and it just kind of signals to the market that both parties are willing to negotiate, but it's going to take a lot of time. But I think it's not going to be too disruptive. Like Trump's, given he's gotten his deal, I don't think he's going to pressure China to sign the other deals too quickly. Though it's an election year, so we never know what desperate moves might come about. Um, so by taking these rules, it kind of just puts you in a situation that no matter what happens, you're in check. You keep your emotions in check. So that's kind of what I want you to learn. So don't be that emotional. Don't try to decide things on a spot. Have a nice systematic way of doing things before you've gone into it. Like say if you bought Beyond Meats at 114, because of course people are buying at 114 or buying Tesla at 100, 524, because obviously these prices are there because someone's willing to pay that. So if the price drops, what do you do? So that's the question. If I'm buying Tesla at this price, it's quite high, I have to admit, but of course it can always go higher. So my kind of view is that I can basically, if I started buying a third at this price, I wouldn't feel too bad because I've got a lot more money stashed away to buy more when it comes down. But if it just goes up even more and I hold a third, I can just sell that third. So like if it goes from like 524 and I have a third of my money in there, and it goes to 600, I could just sell that third and I've just made some money. I don't have to make all the money in the world. The problem is everyone wants to make all the money with the maximum amount of money that they have, and that's the problem. It doesn't keep your emotions in check. So you're always good to have a systematic way of doing things. And given I think this week's going to be a beautiful week, so good luck to you all. Happy investing, and take this strategy because if this week is going to be as good as I think it is, you're going to have a lot of profits, and you're going to be able to you're going to be put in the spot where you have to kind of manage your risk. So manage it well, manage it systematically. Don't put yourself in a spot. Don't put yourself under pressure. Don't use your emotions too much. Deal with it in a good, brilliant way, and do yourself a favor. Don't make the decisions before you have to make them. Then you don't have the pressure, and you're smarter and better for it. All right. Well, until then, happy investing, everyone.